All right, for our quick tip, we want to talk about ways to optimize your sleep. But first, why do you want to optimize your sleep, right? Look, first reason, better recovery from your workouts. It boosts your immune system. Two, three, it keeps you from being all emo everywhere you go, right? Right. And part of that leads in four is because of four. The balancing of your hormones, right? So you want to optimize your sleep so you can better balance your hormones. Specifically, leptin and ghrelin, the metabolism hormones here. So you want to optimize your sleep for those reasons, and there's many more like stress relief. Again, the injury prevention is pretty big here, right? So those are reasons to start off. Now, how do you do it? What you want to do is essentially you want to set your body on a timer, right? So it's all about timing here. So you want to try and go to sleep at the same time and try and wake up at the same time. Your body builds a rhythm on that. A lot of how your body works, it works in the form of rhythm, right? How does it move? How does it operate? Timing of it, all that fun stuff, right? And so you want to stay away from things that could throw that rhythm off or throw your timing off, a la caffeine and alcohol. You want to stay away from, not like overall, well, kind of overall, but like closer towards the time for you to go to bed, right? So obviously you don't want to drink like 8 cups of coffee before going to bed, or you don't want to have like 20 different shots of something or another before going to bed. Alcohol and caffeine will jack up your sleep, right? So you want to try and maintain the timing of going down at the same time, waking up at the same time. All right, that's one thing. That's one way you want to look at it, right? And a lot of that stuff is going to be based on maintaining that timing and building that timing, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to actually go to sleep in a dark and cold room, or chilled room, right? This one is a little weird for me, right? Because I actually get better sleep in a warm room. Don't know why. Don't know how. It's just, I love the heat. I absolutely love the heat. I hate the cold. So even as I'm putting on blankets and things like that, I don't like it. But studies show if you're in a dark and cold room, you're more likely to get better sleep. So there's that. There's also some weird studies that show like if you had there's certain colors of your room that'll get you prepared for sleep. And I think it was like purple is one of the worst colors that you can have for good sleep. But I think it was like a gray or some form of blue was really good for a room color to go to sleep. I don't really know if that's a little bit of foo-foo going on there, but it's a thought, right? Next thing you want to do, you want to make sure that you are shutting off all screens before going to bed. Like all of them. So like stop working all the way up until going to bed. No tablets, no TVs, no phones, no e-readers, none of that stuff, right? Because obviously maybe not obviously, but hopefully you've heard of the effects that blue light has on us, especially as we're trying to go to sleep. That's another way you can jack up your sleep, okay? So you want to basically stay away from the screens well before, going to bed, right? And you actually want to start to reduce the amount of light that you see the closer you get to bed, okay? So all of this is helping you, again, build up this routine for sleep. Next thing you want to do, make sure you get enough magnesium. Make sure you're getting enough magnesium, right? That leads to better sleep. Dark leafy greens, things like that. Exercise is important, right? But you got to keep the rule of thumb with exercise is the closer you get to bedtime, the less intense the exercise should be, okay? So you're not going to go do a spin class 10 minutes before going to bed. All right. So those are and then I guess the big thing is there's a lot of people who will, have no problems falling asleep, but then wake up in the middle of the night. And one of the worst things you can do is just to lay there and stare at the ceiling. Don't do that. Right? So if you happen to wake up in the middle of the night, restart the whole routine again, right? So jump right back in. It's like, okay, get up, move around a little bit, because what you want your body to be trained to, do and figure out is that when you're in the bed, you should be sleeping or other things, but married person stuff, right? But primarily sleeping. You want your body to be prepared for sleeping at that point in time. So that's another reason why, again, you want to keep the work and all that other stuff away from it. So if you end up waking up in the middle of the night, redo your night routine, right? Just do a condensed version of it, and then get back into bed to go to sleep. Okay. And I guess kind of going back, just backtrack a little bit, right? Because I know this is supposed to be a quick tip, so I'm not trying to go in extreme detail. Maybe I'll do a sleep episode at some point. But you want to make sure, if you do end up doing something, get a book, actual book to read, and sit in a chair maybe next to the bed to read, to go back, to get back to sleep or something like that. Or it's really good. I hear a lot of people have a mobility stretching routine right before bed, right? It's calming, it's cool, and it actually leads to better sleep. I used to do it for years. So you do things like that. Another tip is to lay on your right side to sleep. Lay on your side, right? You don't want to sleep on your belly or your back, right? So for, I guess, scientifically or neurologically or both, I guess, right? It happens to jumpstart the recovery process if you're laying on your side, right? So it typically doesn't matter which side, but there are studies, more and more studies coming out now that if you sleep on your right side, that actually promotes better brain and heart health, right? So it jumpstarts the recovery process for your brain so that it can kind of cleanse. I'm not saying cleanse of any toxins, but it gets rid of all the waste and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's basically what your body does overall at night anyway, right? It's the recovery and repair period, right? So sleeping on your right side jumpstarts that process for your brain and for your heart. But if you're late term pregnant, and late term prego, basically, obviously, you got to sleep on your left side, right? Because your uterus is basically bullying your organs. So you want to make sure that you're on your left side, right? But either side in general is good for you. Just don't sleep on your back or your belly, right? It doesn't help you, right? And it doesn't lead, and it doesn't promote typically really, really good sleep. Okay. All right. So those are the tips for sleeping. Let's get on to our main topic.